Hello there, it's Jonathan Royle here. This is for fun only. Haven't practiced this card routine for a long time. I haven't done it professionally for money in the real world for a number of years now. And well, I haven't even got a close-up mount, so I'm using this tea towel that I've just pinched from the kitchen. I'm going to try this out. If there's any codge-ups along the way, they'll be in there, warts and all. This is so that I can see how badly, after so many years, I am, or not as the case may be, at this routine that I learnt about 26 years ago. So we'll get rid of the jokers. That leaves us with this deck of cards. We'll give them a kind of croupier style three-way mix-up like that. And hopefully I'm going to be able to show you a trick with the two black aces. The ace of spades and, if we can find somewhere about the middle, I think maybe about there, the ace of clubs. The two black aces, the ace of spades and the ace of clubs, that's the trick we're going to try and show you. But as I say, I haven't done this for a number of years. So if at any point this should go wrong, I'm just going to place them face to face like that. As you can see, there's spades and there's clubs. Place them face to face. If anything goes wrong, I'll get a little bit embarrassed, the cards will get a little bit embarrassed as well, and that's when the cards actually turn bright red. Now I promised you a trick with the two black aces, the ace of spades and the ace of clubs. So if we take the two red aces, diamonds and hearts, and we place them kind of, I don't know, somewhere roughly into the middle of the deck, give the cards a cut and flick, the first black ace turns. Hopefully, yes indeedy, face up in the deck. The second card's a little bit harder to find. For this we use a croupier style American three-way mix-up like that, and this time the card doesn't travel to the top. Actually it thinks it's in London, travelling underground, and there we go. We're back where we started with the ace of clubs and the ace of spades. Thank you. Now, I promised you a trick all along with the ace of clubs and the ace of spades. So if you were here right now, I'd ask you to pick a spot on this table and you put your finger onto the black aces. Then I would kind of go over here and pull into the deck and get two cards. And I'd say, you know, wouldn't it be amazing if I'd managed to find the red aces, and when everyone agreed, I'd then show them, well, actually, it's better than that, because now I've actually got the ace of spades and the ace of clubs, and the cards that were under your finger before that were shown to be black have now become the ace of hearts and the ace of diamonds, and then they go mad with applause. Oh, they certainly used to years ago anyway. So that would then enable us to show that we've got the ace of diamonds, the ace of hearts, the ace of clubs and the ace of spades, and that spades is going to go at the top there as a leader card for kind of the other aces, okay? For this we're also going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards. So you've got to be quite good at counting for this trick. And really just 12 cards there. We give the cards a little bit of a cut and a mix like so. And now it's a kind of observation test, okay? So we're going to take the 10 of spades. We take the 10 of spades, we place it onto the ace. Down here we place 1, 2, 3 cards onto the bottom ace. We give a little flick, it's the flick that does the trick, and then suddenly, yes indeedy, the 10 of spades is now down here with 1, 2, 3 in different cards, and up here has travelled ace number 2. I'll do it again in slow motion. We have the 5 of diamonds onto the aces. 1, 2, 3 cards here. Pick the cards up, give them a flick. It's the flick that does the trick, and suddenly we've got the 5 of diamonds down here with 3 in different cards, and up here has travelled ace number 3. Now a lot of people say to me, Jonathan, because that's my name, they say to me, Jonathan, you've done some jiggery pokery, you've somehow already got rid of that last ace, it can't be there. And I like to prove to them, because if that's hearts, and that one's diamonds, and that one's spades, what would the last one be? Clubs, yeah? Clubs. And indeed, it is clubs. And if we take clubs and we place onto that 1, 2, 3 cards, And then over here onto the aces we'll place the, what's that, Jack of Diamonds. Okay. The hardest part is to get this last ace to vanish from these 3 cards, okay, and appear with the other 3 aces. So let's see if we can do that. 3 attempts. Attempt number 1, not good. And no, it's still there. Okay, final chance. Attempt number 3. Ta-da! Oh. But there again, I did promise you that what would happen is that all 2, 3, 4 aces would end up together. And now magically over here where the aces were, we find that we've got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 kings. And that's why I call it a 4 king good trick. Yes indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the aces are out the deck. The kings are out of the deck. We now need to find the queens and the jacks. Now there's easy ways to do this, hard ways. Easy ways to obviously find the first queen like that. Slightly harder way would be to we'll take some from the middle of the deck. Let's do it with that. Look at them close up to the camera. We've got red, black, red, black, red, black, red, black and red. That's 8 cards altogether. 4 of them go onto the table, which leaves me with exactly 2 reds and 2 black cards in my hand. But if I give a little wipe like that and a flick, amazingly those turn into 1, 2, 3, 4 reds. And I know what you're thinking, wouldn't it be amazing if the blacks were now on the table? Well actually, ladies and gentlemen, it's better than that, because now we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 queens. That's the aces, that's the kings, that's the queens. Now we need to find the jacks from this deck of cards. As I said, the easy way is to look for 1, look for the second and all that kind of jazz. A slightly more difficult way would be to take the cards, give the cards a little bit of a shuffle like that, and then cut somewhere about the middle like that. And you've heard of gamblers that cut to the cards one at a time. Well, how's about cutting to all 1, 2, 3, 4 jacks. Hey, thank you very much indeed. Yes, indeed. The jacks, the queens, the kings and the aces have now come out of this deck of cards, and now they need to go back in so they can go back into the box. So let's start with the, just give them a shuffle. Let's start with the jacks. The jacks these are very talented cards, you know, the jacks. I'll show you for why. If we take the jack of clubs and place it face up, you'll see that indeed, as you would expect, the jack of clubs is face up. But if we give it a little tap like that, it turns into the jack of diamonds, a little pass through the hand like that, a little flick, and then it turns into spades, and one more final tap, and magically it's become, yes indeed, the jack of hearts, which is really strange when there was only ever 1 card face up, there were only ever 4 cards, and they were indeed the 4 jacks. I thank you. As you shout at your screen for more, or was that more on? Who knows? Jacks. We now, we'll get rid of them, so they're totally gone. We're getting close to putting these back. The queens, I'm going to let you know how the jacks did it. It's not me, it's these cards. The cards themselves actually are acrobatic cards. I'll show you what I mean by that. Look closely. Card number 1 is the Queen of Diamonds. I'd give you that and you'd put your finger on it if you were here, but you're not. Card number 2 is the Queen of Hearts. That goes down there under your finger, and then magically by a little flick I end up with the 2 red queens, and underneath your finger ends up the 2 blacks. And that gets rid of the queens nicely into the deck. For the kings, what I do is normally I'll kind of take the deck like that, and I'll put 1 in somewhere near the bottom, another king a little bit further up, and I'm talking to the audience at this point, getting to know them and making jokes about the environment. This is somewhat false, to say the least, environment, but the key is that they truly do go into entirely, you can see that, into very different areas of the deck, so that they are somewhat. And this is a very, 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 very bent deck. And you know what, we're going to do that again, because up till now I'm amazed I've remembered how to do most things, but this one I've kind of forgotten. We'll give it one more try. After 20 years, we'll place 1 in somewhere near the bottom like that, 1 slightly further up. Number 3, number 4, the idea is to be able to show that they are most definitely in different areas of the pack, and then to just give the cards a little mix like that, and to give the cards a little mix like that, and then hopefully the riffle shuffle like this. And if we've done this right, we should be able to cut just about to there, and hopefully we'll get king number 1. Yes indeedy. King number 2, we'll give the cards a croupier style 3-way mix like that, and hopefully that will come to there. And as for king number 3, it's going to be very hard to do on this very restricted camera angle, but we'll take the joker, and I'm going to kind of throw this up in the air, so it's probably going to go out of camera shot, but it goes up into the air and it lands inside the deck. It lands in between 2 cards, and those 2 cards, fingers crossed, are king number 3 and king number 4, and then we get rid of them into the deck. So that then just leaves me with the aces. And when it comes to the aces, I tell people about gamblers and the fact that gamblers can often do very, 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 very tricky tricky things. For example, we've got the ace of spades, the ace of diamonds, the ace of hearts, and the ace of clubs. Move them over there slightly. What gamblers have been trying to perfect for years, and I'll show you what I mean, we'll place one of them down there, is to be able to take a card, maybe this top one, come in and palm it away like that. Now that looks reasonably normal, but you know, if I spread my fingers you'd see it, or you could get a flash of it, you know, and that would probably get you killed in a game. So gamblers for years, what they've been trying to come up with is a way to be able to come, take a card, palm it away, and then when they palmed it, to be able to make that card become invisible. So that when the cards become invisible, whenever they want to later in the game, they can just make it become visible again. But obviously ensuring that it's invisible at all other times. So let's try that one more time. We come in, we take the card away. When we take the card away, that leaves just the one here, and it becomes invisible until you actually want it later in the game, and then you can make it visible again, so that then you've got 3 on the table and just 1 left that needs to be got rid of. Now this is obviously the hardest, so they also practice being able to palm cards from a deck of cards. So if we put it on the top like that, what we're going to do is I need to get kind of so you can be seen. I'm going to push that off and palm it away, and then hopefully, well, let's see, after years of lack of practice, let's see if we can just palm it up and then make it become invisible, and then whenever you want, remembering it's in this hand this time, we just make it become visible again, and when it has become visible, that means you've got all 4 aces. And that's generally when I get rid of the aces into the deck, and invariably people will say, but you haven't even had anyone select a card yet, and I say, you know what, you're right, and I never get somebody to select a card. So let's imagine, say stop, let's say you took that one, okay, look at it, remember it, yes I know what it is for the sake of this, 6 of diamonds, but then I'd have you say stop, and at some point you'd say stop, and you put your card in face down, and I'd continue shuffling, and having continued shuffling so that your card was truly lost somewhere inside the deck, I would say that I'm going to try and find your card with one hand behind my back. I'll keep this one in full view at all times. I'm just going to put this deck behind my back. I'm going to turn one card face up in the middle of the deck. If that's your card, everyone will go mad with applause for the end of the routine. If it isn't, everyone will say, Jonathan, that's absolute rubbish, or words to that effect. Okay, what was your card? They say then it's the 6 of diamonds in this example, and I would show them, get ready to applaud everyone, because it's the old gag of, not only did I find your card, but I turned it into an entirely different one. Comes into play, everyone's suitably disappointed at how crap the ending was, and then I say, oh, hang on, there is something that's been on show at all times, you know, this box here. If I take this box and I open it, inside this box is one card and one card only, and indeed it is their card, the Six of Diamonds, which could have been signed, but I'm a cheapskate. I thank you for watching. That was rehearsing after years and years. A little rusty, but I hope you enjoyed some of it.